Well, hello there. It's Nikki Heenan, artist, and I am recording from Souvrette House in St. Moritz, Switzerland. I'm here to run an art program for a week, and I'm looking at various aspects of the postcard. During lockdown, one of the things I've really enjoyed is getting postcards from friends and sending postcards, and the old-fashioned way of communication. As I was saying earlier, that the postcard, the format for the postcard and making it standardized actually was developed in Switzerland. So we've got a lot of nice little bits of memorabilia attached to that, and we had a look at some of that yesterday, so you could search that video as well and have a look at that. So today I'm going to I've already transferred. I'm looking at this car image, which I'd like to transfer and create into a postcard. So this is a friend's car, and he's very proud of it. So I think it'll be quite fun to make something from that. So a little earlier this morning, I transferred that image onto my postcard shape here, and it's black and white, and that just gives me a little bit of scope for developing some sort of decorations and embellishments onto this card. So let's get started. Where the roof of the car is just this lovely, gorgeous blue shape. But I thought it'd be quite interesting to work with this shape and maybe translate that shape into a map. It's a bit like a car traveling across the countryside. So I'm just going to cut that shape out. Even this in itself is interesting to have that shape cut out. So everything that I do, I tend to keep it, because you might actually find you want to make another transfer out of that. So that's really good. I'm just, because that shape, and then it has the window shape in there, so I'll probably have to cut that out as well. So I might just add that map shape like this over there. Let's give that a go. So it's going to go over here, so I'll just cut that out. I probably should just get a little pen or pencil there, it's fine. Now, yesterday we were looking at Merz Art by Carl Zwitters, and he used anything to hand. I quite like that idea of just randomly finding things, and this was a map that I had. And I just copied it out, not knowing what I was going to use it for, but it was just interesting. And it has, actually it's quite interesting, it's got St. Moritz on it there. Now that would be interesting in the car. Let's change that altogether. I didn't actually see that before. So I think we'll have St. Moritz as our roof of our car. This is the beauty of these things. You can just change them as you want. So where I'm reporting from today is just here in St. Moritz, and the train comes down from Chur over to St. Moritz. It's a fantastic train ride if you get a chance to go on the Bernina Express and do that. Let's just cut that off there. Okay, so on our car, we can just pop that in here, and it's quite nice sometimes if things aren't too perfect. It just creates more into the imagination there. So I'm going to glue that down with a glue stick. Just working on a palette paper here, and then at the end of the day, at the end of the session, I just throw it out. So it's quite good. So let's pop the St. Moritz on top of this car. A little roller here, so I just use the roller to just flatten that collage. Now I'm using Fabriano 650 gram paper here, and the beauty of this paper is when you want to glue things, it doesn't buckle, and the paper's quite absorbent, so it'll absorb the glue as well, and you can just see how beautifully flat that is sitting there on the paper. I'd like to do something a little bit too around the edge of this plate, so I'm just going to get a little black acrylic, something very, very low key. Let's just pop that along here. Just don't want to ruin too much of my image now. I'm sort of treating it a bit like a window pane, so quite nice too if you want to just change that edge. You know, I could just give it a shake that tape off a little. To just roll some paint there. Just want it quite light. Okay. Just let that just dry off, and sometimes this tape, you know, ends up looking quite, becomes a part of the collage, and really it's looking quite nice. It's just interesting how it's caught the roof of the car. So, you know, sometimes that's what these things are about, just going with something that's a little unexpected. I'm going to change this paper because I don't really want to get black paint on the underneath of the card if I don't have to. So let's pop that on a clean sheet there. I will take this other piece of tape off down here because I like the detail that happened in the transfer print. I'm going to use a stencil of some car tires here, and that might be quite interesting at the bottom of the image. I could take it into the wheel like that. Just got a tiny little print there. I probably need to do that with a stencil brush. It's just given us something a little that relates to the patterning on the car tire there. So that looks quite interesting. Now up in this corner, I am going to put some stamps or something similar, just to make it look a little bit more like a postcard. These are, I don't think it's really letraset, but it's a similar sort of thing. They're quite fun to use. Just coming along, and say I wanted to unite these two areas, just get a spoon just with the back of it, and you can transfer these shapes onto the card like so. That's quite fun. Maybe it's 007 even. Here we go, we've got James Bond. Right there, 007. It's actually looking really quite nice at this stage, isn't it? And it's one of those things, less is more. Sometimes you don't really want to overdo all the different elements, and just this little bit of graphic map and the way that turned out was kind of exciting. But I do want to add a stamp. I've got some interesting stamps here, so let's pop the member one there, just as if it was stamped. And that's also got that tiny bit of green, and it's actually those little bits of colour just lifted, so I can use the glue stick for that. Really enjoying this little project. Of course, I've used my nice roller to flatten that in, but as you can see with the Fabriano paper, you can stick things onto it so easily, and it's beautiful and flat. That's a little bit of fun, actually, really. And I think I could, even if I had a stencil brush, I could probably put some yellow stripe, just like as if it was a road. But I've got some Posca pens. These are quite good too. These are an acrylic paint inside, and they're quite vivid. So I'm just going to draw some of that, which we had there with the tire marks, and maybe put some on the edge here with the Posca pen. We can just pop it on the edge, and I might just give it a slight angle. There. Just have a little bit of that stenciling line coming down the end. When you have a motif like that, I always think, where else can I use it? What else can I do? I might just come in with a little line here, like so, and just down the edge. Just like a little border there. Just a little bit of something unexpected really, isn't it? All right, so there we are. We've got a 007 printed card and collage there that is ready to send to someone you like. You could put a real stamp on it and away you go. Thanks for joining me. It's Nikki Heenan, artist here, reporting from Merz Art in Switzerland.